I wanted to make this video because I'm really excited for the Hydro Archon, both visually and now with all the information that we currently have. She seems to be another great Archon. One thing's for sure, Archons are great at showcasing the value of their own respective element, and I'm sure she will be no different. And we will gain so much value from basically having her on our accounts, so keep that in mind that we don't currently have any bad Archons, and I doubt that she will be a bad one. So let's talk about what we currently know about her and see if she is intriguing enough for you guys. Now it seems like her charge attacks is specialized based on the effect triggered by her elemental skill, and her normal attacks can deal hydro damage at certain intervals based on which arc she currently has, and by default her arc will be Osha when she swapped to be on the field, and charge attack uses some stamina to deal damage and change her arc between Numa and Osha. Her elemental skill can also switch the lineup of her summons after doing a charge attack. Her plunging attack is just what would you expect with no special ability, at least not at Constellation 0. So now you might be asking, what am I even talking about when I say Osha and Numa? Well, it's because her elemental skill is quite complicated. Here's why. The Osha form of her elemental skill has a description that I'm gonna read. The Osha form does hydro damage based on the character's max HP. She summons 3 creatures that can attack foes at certain intervals. But as of now, we don't know how fast they will attack, and it will change everything based on how fast or how slow they will attack. Also, any allies with over 50% HP loses their HP, and those summons deal damage based on how many characters in your team have lost their HP from this effect. Now the other effect, Numa, on the other hand, she summons entities that heal the active characters based on her max HP, so she can be both a healer and a damage dealer based on how you can use her and how you want to use her. So she's gonna be a really unique and different character from what we have in the game currently. As for her elemental burst, it's simpler than her skill. It does AoE hydro damage based on Furina's max HP. Seems like she scales from HP overall, and when an ally's HP is altered, Furina gets a buff tied to increasing damage and incoming healing for all of her teammates, and when the burst ends, the buff will also expire. And how much of a buff she receives is based on how much max HP of characters in your team was altered. And her passives are, if an active character gets healed and it overflows while not being from the Hydro Archon, then she will heal an ally for 2% of their max HP once every 2 seconds up to 2 times, and every 1000 of this character's max HP can buff her elemental skill summons. The Osha variant does 0.7% more damage per stack up to a cap of 28%, and the Numa version decreases the healing interval by 0.4% up to 16%. And the ability of Xenochromatic Fontamer Aberrant has a reduced cooldown of 30%, which will be useful in underwater combat in Fontaine. Now I'm trying to read you guys the constellations of this character, so if you have been planning on saving for multiple constellations, this might be interesting to know. Her Constellation 1. She automatically gets 150 stacks of her buff from her elemental burst by increasing the cap by another 150. Her Constellation 2. When she does an elemental skill, she gets a buff for 10 seconds. That buff makes all of her normal, charged, and plunging attacks inflict hydro damage, further boosted by 15% of her max HP. Osha makes her attack heal all allies of 3% based on her max HP, and Numa can make teammates lose HP to buff Furina's normal, charged, and plunging attack. Constellation 3 is straightforward. It adds 3 levels to her elemental skill. Constellation 4, if her elemental skill heals an active character or damages a foe, the Hydro Archon recovers 4 energy once every 5 seconds. And Constellation 5 adds plus 3 levels to her elemental burst. And Constellation 6 increases the stacks buff from her elemental burst by 200%. Each stack also increases the Hydro Archon's max HP by 0.4% with a maximum of 140%. And lastly, her signature weapon is called Splendor of Still Waters, that I'm gonna put a picture up for you guys to see, and has 542 base attack with 88.2 crit damage at level 90, with the passive of the weapon being when the equipping character's current HP increases or decreases, elemental skill damage dealt will be increased by 8% for 6 seconds. With a maximum of 3 stacks, this effect can be triggered once every 0.2 seconds. When the other party member's current HP increases or decreases, the equipping character's max HP will be increased by 12% for 6 seconds, with a maximum of 2 stacks. This effect can be triggered once every 0.2 seconds and can be triggered even if the wielder of this weapon is off field. Overall, I just wanted to share this information with you guys so that you can have a better idea to consider if you want to wish on any character's banner in 4.1, and if you're intrigued enough to wait and save for Furina in 4.2. And in case if you were wondering who the other 3 characters in 4.2 are, they will be Sino, Baiju, and Ayato. And the new 4-star will be Charlotte, a Catalyst Crier character, which will most likely be on the same banner as Furina. And let me know down below in the comments if you're excited for how unique the Hydro Archon might be, and if you're planning on wishing for her or already saving for a different character. Also consider subscribing for a lot more content about Genshin Impact and soon Honkai starrail, and thank you in advance, as I would highly appreciate it. With all that being said, have a good day or night, and peace.